Plans to build the five-star Marriott Kabul hotel in Afghanistan over a decade ago was viewed as a way to boost post-war reconstruction efforts and become the symbol of a new era in the country. Today, the building stands in the middle of the Afghan capital as nothing more than a mere shell of good intentions. And now, U.S. taxpayers are left footing the bill. Joining us today to discuss his office's findings is Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction, John Sopko. Inspector General, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. It's my understanding that you recently went to Kabul to survey the area where this hotel was built. Can you tell us a little bit about what your findings were?
Well, that's correct. It's actually right across from our embassy, literally a stone's throw from the embassy. And I went over with a team and took a look at it. We had looked at it back in August when we initiated our investigation. And the place looks like a bombed-out shell, totally uninhabitable. Totally without water, sewage, electrical. And what shocked us, and now why we are continuing our criminal investigation, is that assurances were made to OPIC, and OPIC gave money, millions of dollars, to the contractor who claimed that the hotel and the residents were almost ready for occupancy. You can read our engineer's report. In her opinion, those assurances were totally false.
Now, OPIC is an organization that helps to provide loans and funding for projects like these in reconstruction efforts around the world and in Afghanistan. They loaned a lot of money. I believe it was $85 million total. Is there any explanation as to why this project was suddenly abandoned?
Well, the explanation given by OPIC was it was a security problem. But this wasn't in some far-off corner of Afghanistan. This is literally right across the street from the U.S. Embassy. And in 2013, when they stopped construction and took the last payment and ran, you could get around Kabul. I actually visited Kabul 3 times and visited the countryside. My people were driving around and inspecting all over the place. So this argument that there was a security problem is bogus, bogus on its face. And I think everybody knows that. But what we didn't know until we looked closely, based upon somebody contacting us, that there were false statements made and that OPIC never double-checked. They relied totally on the false statements. They never visited the site. If you had visited the site, you would have known that it was not complete.
What's OPIC's explanation for not going to the site firsthand to see progress? Why do they rely on reports from these contractors?
Well, they claim, and I must say it's a strange argument, because OPIC is part of and works closely with the Department of State and USAID. They claim they couldn't get country clearance for their employees to come and visit. I have never heard of that before, and I've been doing this for almost 5 years, and my staff have never heard of this before. There were thousands, literally thousands, of state and USAID employees traveling in and out of the country. There were employees from many other government agencies traveling in and out of the country. This argument that they couldn't get a clearance, so therefore they relied on these bogus and false reports by the contractor, it sounds like the old argument of the the dog ate my homework. Where I come from in southern Ohio, that dog don't hunt.
It seems like a staggering waste of money. And now, given the proximity of the structure to the embassy, is there a potential danger in terms of it being used as a perch for terrorists to plot attacks against the embassy or anything of that nature?
Well, I don't want to go into the details of security, but to say this, that building is an iconic building that overlooks our embassy. And since OPIC allowed the contractor to disappear 3 years ago and has done nothing to collect the taxpayers' money, the State Department has had to pay for security to secure that facility. And that will keep on going for as long as we're in that embassy. Anyone who has traveled to Afghanistan knows this hotel. They have seen it. I saw it for the last 4.5, 5 years under construction, and then all of a sudden it stopped. So yes, there is an additional burden. The real question somebody should ask, in addition to the poor management of OPIC, is why did our government allow anyone to build a hotel that close, that imposing, overlooking our embassy? And that's a question that I'm talking to the state IG and the U.S. aid IG about, because that to me is also a serious question of bad management and bad thinking about security.
Well, Inspector General, it seems like there's a lot of unanswered questions with this project. I want to thank you for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. For more on this story, check out foxnews.com. I'm Perry Sharamonti. Thanks for watching.